Hello and welcome to Fifth and Grace. Today we're going to look at your love life for March. Are you going to be lucky in love? Is there a pot of gold waiting for you? Let's ask the cards and find out. We're going to pull 3 cards. The first card is how love is going to show up for you. Card number 2 is where luck is actually shining in your relationships. Do you know that there's people that we can be connected to that their only job is to bring us luck, messages, open paths for us, all kinds of things. But sometimes that's, when we have somebody in our life and then they kind of go away as soon as we start going on the path that feels right, their job was to just point us to the right path. Sometimes people are sent to us just to ask a question, and then you never hear from them or see them again. Have you ever had it happen that you've been putting your groceries in the back of your car in the parking lot of the grocery store, and someone just stops and says something and then keeps walking, and you've never seen this person before and you never see them again? Those kinds of things. Sometimes people are popping up in random ways, or sometimes it's a relationship you actually have with a friend or a family member or a lover who is meant to help you get to a certain place, and then their job is done, and that's when they move on. And sometimes it feels dramatic, and sometimes it feels easy, like there's people that have moved on from my life and I didn't even notice. Yeah. Then they get angry that I don't remember them or didn't notice. And I'm like, well, be memorable. How about that? But sometimes people are just meant to point you in the right direction. So that's what this could be about. So that's card number 2, where luck is shining in your relationships. And of course, card number 3, a message from the universe. And I've called in my guides and my spirit team, so they'll be helping out as they always do, because I'm not this smart. Anything profound I happen to say, it has come from spirit. So don't for a second think I am the brains in the room. I'm okay. I'm smart enough, but not in a profound sort of I don't know, magical way, I guess. I just trust my guides to tell me what needs to be said. And I depend on my team quite a bit. If I'm in a city I don't know and I'm a little bit lost and I'm like, I don't know how to get out of here. Or say I need a gas station, I'll just be like, hey guides, help me out, okay? Gonna need your help right now. And they usually do. They're like, I just get little nudges, turn left, turn right, go straight, stop here, whatever. And I almost always end up getting to what I wanted. So it's okay to do that. Don't think that you only call in your team or your guides when you're doing readings. Call them in for all kinds of things. I did that. I couldn't find my e-reader, and I called in spirit to help me find it. And it narrowed me down to the closet in the spare room. And sure enough, I went and looked, and that's where I found my e-reader. So yeah, count on them. Form a relationship with them, and you get a lot of information. Okay, enough babbling from me. Okay, card number 1, card number 2, and card number 3. So this is not a pick a card. This is where we tell a story. There is another pick a card reading this week, so just stay tuned for that. The Tower. How love will show up for you at what you believe is your darkest, lowest, saddest time. The sense that I'm getting from spirit is that this is a love that maybe you weren't aware of to the extent that it is, but in your darkest time, it shows up for you. This person shows up for you, and you're getting confirmation that this person actually really does care for you. I'm looking at if you're already sort of in a relationship of some kind and you're maybe feeling like, I don't know. It's going to be when you're at your worst, and this person is going to come in with love. And that can look like all kinds of things. You know, I always say, you know, people will say, how do you know your husband loves you? And I'm like, because in the winter I come outside and, you know, if I have to get in my car and it's been snowing, he took a few minutes in the morning before he left for work to brush off my car. That's love. And or when he texts me, when he leaves in the morning and he texts me and says, be careful going out the front door, the steps are slippy. I put salt down, but just be careful. Like, that's love, right? That's not, you know, grand gestures and candles and bubble baths and romance and champagne and blah, 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 all the stuff that we tend to think. That's just the superficial. The love is the person who sits at your hospital bed. That's love. That's love. So just know that that person who shows up for you during your darkest time, that's what love actually is. If you've been confused at all, it is okay within that relationship to say, I would also really like a romantic dinner. I would also really like flowers once in a while. I would also, whatever romance looks like to you, it's okay to ask for that. And it is okay to make that happen. But this is not necessarily about romance. This is about that deep love that, like, your grandparents had. How about that? If your grandparents were still married and, you know, were good people, you know, it wasn't romance all the time, but it was just a solid, steady, confident love. That's it. That's how this is going to show up for you. Now, your darkest moment doesn't need to be lying in a hospital. It could be, it's whatever that is for you. It could be when things go wrong at work. It could be when, you know, your car breaks down. It could be, there's all kinds of ways that can really make you feel like this is a really low, tragic time in my life. You know, I always say, like, when the ice cream machine doesn't work at McDonald's. that could be what, you know, ruins your day. That's good. That could be the thing that just puts you over the edge. I don't know who this person is for you. That's for you to know and discover as you go through this and experience this. But keep an eye out for the person who shows up and sticks around and is just steadfast. And, you know, I think of the people in my life that when I've had a loved one die, that showed up and stayed and helped me through it. That's the person we're talking about. It doesn't need to be romantic. Because that's not really coming in strong on this one. So it could be a friend, it could be a family member, but it could be a partner or someone in your life who recognizes you don't need romance right now. What you need is someone to hold your hand. So there you go. Keep an eye out for that. I'm just going to move these over here. It's a gorgeous sunny day here. So we've got lovely light happening. So card number 2, where luck is shining in your relationships. Oh, fun. The 7 of coins. Oh, you know what? I'm going to look up the timings too. Sorry, I got so into that I completely forgot. And look at how this deck is really interesting because it's called the Fountain Tarot. I did put the link to this deck in the description. I always, if I have the link to a deck, I will put it into this description. So if you like this, you can easily get it. But what I find really interesting about this is the imagery is just so interesting. So, you know, it's like pyramids sort of point, like it's all just so precarious, isn't it? Every moment of our life. And so we need to live as though we understand that and you know, don't always say I love you, okay? Just always say I love you. So the Tower, there's no date attached to this. So now or before you're ready, okay? So there's going to be a change. Things will feel out of control. It very likely will be your own doing. You basically tearing down your own life. Because you're sick of yourself, you're sick of your life, you're sick of everything. Tear it all down, burn it to the ground, and start fresh. That will feel really low. There could be some crying on the bathroom floor, all of that, but this person is going to show up then, okay? So we have our Pentacles, Seven of Coins. I like this deck because when I am writing notes for clients, I always write coins instead of pentacles, just because it's a shorter word. I can write it faster because I do automatic writing with my clients. So if you book a session with me and we're doing tarot, I'm going to be doing automatic writing. So a lot more stuff kind of comes in. And when I read it, I'm like, wow, isn't that interesting? This is May 11th to 20th. So a couple months from now. And this is where luck is shining in your relationships, is where you have invested the goodness into your relationships. You've banked some credit in your relationships, I guess, is a way to say it. And again, whenever we're reading like this could be romantic, family, or friends, or work, coworkers, whatever. Like, it will make sense for you. You will recognize this in your own life, in your own way, as opposed to me telling you who this is in your life. But this is about patience and things coming to fruition. The seeds have been planted and now you can harvest them. The luck is an interesting thing, because there really is actually no such thing as luck. When you see people who are lucky, they're just really good at manifesting. And manifesting is simply becoming an energetic vibrational match to the things that you want. It's that simple. So as you work on yourself, you'll probably find yourself becoming more and more lucky, you know, and receiving more and more out of the blue. But where this is showing up in your relationships are the relationships where you've put in the work, you've made the effort, you've invested your time and your energy into those relationships. And so really, that's what I'm saying. There's no such thing as luck, really. It's just that you will start to see things coming to fruition. You will start to see those connections starting to benefit you. I was almost going to say work for you, but I don't like the way that sounded. But they'll start to benefit you. And this could look like people you've invested in and gotten to know and been a good friend to, or a good partner to, or a good coworker to. Opportunities through them start to show up. So we'll be seeing those things coming to fruition and lots of choices in front of you. This is very much an earth sign. It's connected to Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, in case that matters to anybody. But absolutely, this is about harvesting. This is about manifestations. Oh God, you know what my guides just showed me is that you're going to go, somebody watching is going to go in on like a lottery ticket or something with someone, and you're going to win. And that it'll be the magic of the two of you sharing your energy over this ticket or whatever it is, that you win. And then you get to share it. And that will be like sort of that magical energy. Oh, that's so interesting. So interesting. Oh, I can't wait to hear who it is. If this sounds like you, please let me know in the comments. And if you want to do this reading for yourself with your own deck, go right ahead, because you've got the card placements, so you can do this yourself. Okay, so this one is how love is showing up for you, or how it will show up for you. This is where luck is shining in your relationships. And our final card is a message from the universe. 10 of Swords in reverse. Interesting. So we'll look up the timing of this one. 10 of Swords. So that's June. And in reverse, so normally upright, we would be like, oh, things are coming to completion. You know, if I saw this in a relationship ending or relationship reading, I'd be like, what's the relationship that's ending, or that you want to end, or you think will come to an end, right? Like that. 10s are about endings, completions, things like this. But in reverse, it's about overcoming things, being better than that. I'm just going to say, being better than that, rising above. I don't want to use the phrase that so many people use because it irritates me. But this is a very, this is actually really, really positive. I should have said that right out of the gate. This is really, really positive. You are over the worst. If you've been going through a hard time, you're over the worst of it. Just keep plugging along. You'll be fine. You're going to get through it. And it's about like just pulling yourself together. I feel like the person that is listening to this and is like, oh my gosh, that's me. Just know you're fine. You're going to be okay. It's all, it may not, you're sort of in the phase of just going through the disaster area and assessing the damage. But these two things together are giving you the confidence and the courage to actually face it in a deep and meaningful way. It's also about remembering to include yourself in your assessment. Because a lot of people, I'm going to use the F word, when we do forgiveness work, a lot of people will say to me, I did nothing wrong. It's like, no, but you hung around in a relationship for 32 years while he beat you every night. So can we take ownership of that and maybe have some grace for ourselves? Because you're probably kind of pissed off at yourself. You're probably feeling some shame. You're probably angry at yourself. You're probably not feeling very confident. Your self-esteem is in the toilet because you tolerated that. So this is what I'm saying is we have to take ownership of our own role in how our relationships and life unfolds. So that's why we have that great saying that when we're arguing with somebody or we're trying to solve a relationship problem, or there's been an incident and, you know, there's a big fight or whatever, and then you have that conversation to clear everything up, and you know, there's somebody who is expecting an apology and somebody who doesn't want to apologize. But here's the thing. You can say, I apologize for the role I played in this. That's a very reasonable thing to say, because we're all playing a role in our life. You know, we all are. It takes two to tango. It didn't all happen just because one person did something. So when you're sort of assessing the damage of what you've just gone through, and now you're, you know, in the rubble, in the ruins of your life, perhaps, or maybe it feels like that, don't forget to include yourself in whatever things you may have done to tolerate, to exacerbate, to amplify a situation. We all make mistakes. We all make choices that don't turn out the way we want them to. There's no good or bad choices. There's just choices. And sometimes our choices lead to the destination we want, and sometimes they don't. So when, you know, we have to say, instead of beating ourselves up for making the wrong choice, or what we believe to be the wrong choice, perhaps just some grace. And if you believe you made the wrong choice, you didn't. You made a choice. And this is where it led you. And it led you exactly to where you need to be, to learn the things you need to learn so that your life can be better. It's very simple. It's super simple. So there we have it, my friends. Don't forget to click subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this. Are you going to try this reading for yourself at home? If you are, let me know how it goes. And most of my readings on here, you can do that with. You can take the placements of the cards and use them yourself. This is obviously delivering messages to people, but it is the educational component of my channel where I teach you different spreads and ways to get information and clarity from the cards. So there you have it. As ever, have a magical day.